We are 4 days and 4 nights in the sea. The first 2 days we finished. Some bread we have and some water we have, but 2 days we don't eat, we don't drink. When we start our journey, the smugglers say, don't make on your phone instead to reach to Mediterranean. They give us the numbers of the rescue Coast Guard in Italy and Malta. The Maltese rescue saved us. When we come to see the buildings, I was very, very happy. All of us, really. We are 125, all of us, we are very, very happy.
Here at Hay Wharf, where the rescue boats dock in Malta, Ahmed and the other refugees are safe now. But they are not free, because young or old, frail or pregnant, every refugee who reaches Malta's shores is taken into detention. One of the first people the refugees encounter in detention is lawyer Dr. Katrine Camilleri.
From 2002, when Malta started receiving, let's say, relatively large numbers of asylum seekers by boat from Libya, our work shifted to detention. And today, JRS is the only organization that is regularly present in detention, and we provide information to people arriving in Malta by boat, information about the asylum procedure, about rights, about what to expect. And we also provide legal assistance and what we call psychosocial support.
Today, Katrine Camilleri is visiting Halfar Tent Village, one of Malta's so-called open camps. Refugees find accommodation here after being released from the detention centres. The camp is very remote, down at the southeast corner of the island. Until recently, there were 500 refugees living here in tents. Now the tents have been replaced with porta cabins. Lucky from Somalia shares one of the porta cabins with 3 other women. Thanks to the legal assistance she received from Katrine Camilleri, she can now move about freely in Malta, after 12 months in detention and a complicated asylum application. But life is not easy here, even as a recognised refugee.
I don't have the same rights as the people here. I live in a porter cabin. I have no means of accessing welfare benefits, and earning my own money is difficult. Most of the people in Malta are really friendly, and yes, they did save the lives of us refugees. But there are also people who don't want us here.
That is something that Katrine Camilleri has also experienced firsthand. In 2006, arsonists set fire to her car and her front door. Her family was trapped in the house.
I mean, nothing that I had been through in my life until then kind of compared, you know. So it doesn't leave you. The experience stays with you to some extent. And I always say that this experience has helped me to become more sensitive to refugees and to people who are very afraid.
Fear, sometimes anger at the degrading way they've been treated, and also hope for a better future here in Malta. Malta, together with the nearby Italian island of Lampedusa, is the destination for refugees who come over the so-called middle route from Africa to Europe. But there are also other ways. The western route to the Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla, and the eastern route to Libya or across Egypt's Sinai Desert. Here in the east of Africa, people are fleeing Eritrea's military dictatorship. The Tekeze River is where the fate of thousands of refugees is decided. On the right bank is Eritrea, dubbed the North Korea of Africa for its brutal human rights violations. Anyone who manages to cross the river without being shot dead by the border guards has made it to the safety of Ethiopia. There, they are registered by the United Nations Refugee Agency and taken to one of the nearby refugee camps, like Mai-Eni, where 50,000 refugees live. Dr. Alganesc Fessaha comes from Eritrea herself. Today, she's in Ethiopia helping refugees from her homeland. She cooks for 900 children every day with her NGO Gandhi. She also helps older people who are unlikely to leave the refugee camp. But her work focuses on freeing refugees who have been kidnapped by human traffickers while trying to make their way to the Mediterranean. Alganesc Fessaha's mobile phone number is circulating among them. For many, it's the last hope of salvation.
When they call you, they say, please save me, they are killing me, and they are crying and shouting a lot. So you get very, how you said, afraid also. And they said, how you try it, and you say, I will help you. I will say, I will save your life.
One such phone call came from Simon. He had travelled the eastern route and made it as far as the Sinai Desert. That's where he was kidnapped.
They broke my hand and they mutilated my ears and my legs because they wanted to get $30,000 in ransom money out of my family. Then they took me to a blood-smeared room and told me the blood was from people whose families didn't pay up. We killed them, took out their kidneys and sold them, they said.
Alganesc Fessaha has been able to rescue many hundreds of refugees over the years, most of them from torture chambers. She travels regularly to the Sinai and to Libya on this mission.
I asked to speak to the trafficker, and I said, please, give me time, I will pay you after 5 days or after 3 days, just give me time. It helped me, first, that these people, they will not be beaten at least for 5 days. And secondly, I can start or study the strategy how to help them to come out.
Alganesc Fessaha never ends up paying a ransom. She either manages to talk the traffickers into freeing at least some of the captives with the help of a friendly sheikh, or she sets off time and again herself and manages to free refugees when the guards aren't paying attention. Alganesc Fessaha meets with 2 women in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. Milyon and Rahwa are 2 refugees she rescued last year. They are still deeply traumatized, and here in Ethiopia, they have no prospects.
I'm going to be setting off again soon in spite of everything. My children are in a refugee camp in Sudan. I haven't seen them since I was kidnapped.
No one knows how Milyon and Rahwa's stories will end. Alganesc Fessaha is going to continue to give the 2 women her support and assistance. Even further removed from Europe's affluence is the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the world's 2nd poorest country. 70% of the people here live on less than $1 a day. A childhood spent in the slums is the norm. Children who grow up on the streets do not learn to read or write. 1/4 of all children get something to eat only every 2 days. Petite Flamme is battling against this misery.
Petite Flamme is a social project that organizes schools for underprivileged children, slum children between the ages of 5 and 18.
Petite Flamme actually came into being by chance. The Christian Focolare movement had moved into an empty building in Kinshasa 20 years ago, and they were renovating it to get it ready to use for their pastoral work.
Suddenly there was a big group of children gathered at the gate, and we sat there and we looked at our cooking pots and our plates, and we looked at the children. No one had it in them to send a child away who was asking for education and asking for food.
Now there are more than 2,200 children who come to school here. For each of them, the cooks at Petite Flamme prepare 1 high-protein hot meal a day, consisting of corn, soya and sugar. They eat it in the classroom at break time. Petite Flamme is a purely Congolese project today, but support continues to come from Europe, from people who pay €20 a month to sponsor a child. Some of the sponsors are former soldiers from the German armed forces who helped provide security for the first democratic elections in the Congo in 2006.
During this mission, right at the start, I wanted me and my soldiers to get involved in a social project to win over the hearts and minds of the local population. We visited the first school in Kinshasa. The moment we looked into the children's eyes, that was it. We were hooked.
Retired Admiral Henning Bess travels back to the Congo every 18 months or so. This time, he has some gifts for the family of a sponsored child with him, and he reads out a letter from Germany. Jean-Paul was one of the boys who had a German sponsor too. Today, he is a role model for the young students of Petite Flamme.
I've been to university, and now I'm an engineer, and I have no debts. All that is thanks to Petite Flamme. Yes, I do have friends who have gone to Europe. Whenever I talk to them, they are not doing well. They have nothing to eat. They have no job, not even any official papers. At least I am free here.